Tune in to the Green Rush podcast for a great collection of interviews with some of the most interesting people in legal cannabis doing super interesting things. Just pop open greenrushpodcast.net to listen and subscribe. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery in less than an hour, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail in just 4 to 6 business days over at easewellness.com. If you're in the Golden State, you can open up ease.com, spelled E-A-Z-E, to check out today's sweet daily deal, which gives you 25% off the cost of select Dom Pen vape sticks when you use the discount code DOMPEN, DOMPEN. There are a bunch of great strains to choose from OG Kush, Pineapple Coast, Midnight Berry, and Lemon Haze, all up for offer, among a few others. And if you live outside California, you just need to open up easewellness.com to first check if you live in one of the 41 states where that service is active, and then if you do, to get your order in for hemp-derived CBD. And like I said before, those orders take less than a week to show up in your mailbox. Whatever your legal marijuana delivery needs are, the chances that Ease can be there for you are getting better by the day. Just open up ease.com and easewellness.com. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for the support that makes our show possible. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Monday, January 7th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 638 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off this week's news up in Washington state, where on Friday, Governor Jay Inslee announced plans to make it easy for people with small-time marijuana possession charges on their records to receive pardons. Governor Inslee's plans will not require petitioners to hire lawyers and will be accessible via an online form. People can ask to be pardoned for a single marijuana crime as long as it happened since 1998 and that it happened when that person was an adult offender. The program is also limited to people with one single eligible charge on their record, of which the governor estimates there to be around 3,500. When up and running, this will be one of the less onerous pardon processes for people to go through and will hopefully act as an example for other states to model and follow. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson published an editorial article over Talk Business and Politics late last week, warning the citizens of his state that traveling to neighboring Oklahoma to procure medical marijuana is against both federal and state law. Arkansas does have medical marijuana laws on its books and is in the process of rolling out a functional, albeit limited, medical program, but lags behind Oklahoma, which is just starting to get legal product out to patients and that announced a willingness to issue medical cards to out-of-state visitors. Governor Hutchinson is the former head of the DEA and deserves a lot of credit for showing a real willingness to respect the will of the people in regards to medical marijuana, but I hope his state police do remember that we're talking about medical patients here, even if they do break the law by driving to another state to get their medicine. A good one to read in full today. Wrapping up our final top headlines today is a valuable story over at Bloomberg, which did a bit of good old-fashioned gumshoe journalism by following up on a report issued last month by a group of investors that are short on registered marijuana company Afria, accusing it of overpaying for assets in countries like Jamaica. Bloomberg sent out reporters to visit the locations that the short sellers say are non-existent or overstated in value and found facilities that are very much up and running and built out. This is a complicated story with lots of moving parts and pieces, so I'd suggest you open this one up for the full dive in, especially if you play at all with Canadian stocks. But even if not, this one's a good storyline to have a handle on. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery in less than an hour, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via the mail in just 4 to 6 business days. One of the things that Ease customers value about ordering through their platform is the wide variety of product types and also the range of price points available within each one of those consumption categories. So value shoppers can pick up $15 eighths of Old Pal flour, $15 vape oil cartridges from Bagged Vaped Company, and $5 pre-rolls from Pacific Stone, while those with higher shelf tastes can shop for 777's $49 eighths of flour, heavy hitters $60 vape cartridges, and Ganja Gold's $22 pre-rolls. And of course, there are all the price points in between. Swing over to ease.com to see for yourself just how many options there are to choose from. And remember, if you're outside California, you just need to visit easewellness.com to first see if you live in one of the 41 U.S. states where that new service is active. And then if so, to get your order in for hemp-derived CBD products, all professionally curated by the staff at Ease. Find out just for yourself just how easy legal marijuana delivery can be by opening up ease.com and easewellness.com, with Ease spelled E-A-Z-E. All right. Time for the Blitz. Connecticut's State Speaker of the House, Joe Arasimowicz, just said that his legislative caucus would work to bring adult use legalization legislation to a vote this year. On a podcast published late last week, the Democratic speaker said that he was personally in support of adult use legalization. As Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moment nicely lays out, the atmosphere in Connecticut politics looks pretty promising for adult use to pass this legislative session. If you could benefit from having a deeper understanding of Connecticut's marijuana prospects, this is not a bad story to open up in full today. Marijuana company Cresco just announced that their Ohio State dispensary could open up as soon as January 14th. Ohio has been putting the finishing touches on the licensing chain for its new legal medical cannabis program, and right now the state is awaiting the first batch of marijuana to finish growing ahead of being tested. Ohio patients will be able to purchase medical flower only to start, but will have concentrates and edibles to choose from as soon as licensed processors get their final processes going. The LA Times has an interesting story up looking at the growth in the cottage industry built around tours of LA's legal marijuana industry, with startup tour guide businesses touting the benefits of visits to cultivation shops, dispensaries, and processing facilities. We've seen this same kind of thing pop up in states like Colorado, so it might be worth reading up on, if only to be aware of the opportunity, both as a traveler and as an entrepreneur. Republican Congressman Morgan Griffith of Virginia introduced a bill last week on the first day of Congress to reschedule marijuana and to afford medical cannabis users and purveyors protections from being persecuted by federal officials. As Kyle Yeager, who picks up a twofer today, points out, Congressman Griffith has introduced a similar bill in the last 3 congressional sessions, but the overall atmosphere for legalization is only getting more conducive for change by the day, so this is probably a worthy one to keep an eye on. Oregon's Liquor Control Commission, which also controls the state's legal cannabis industry, is considering a new rule that would require industrial hemp cultivators and processors to get a license to sell their CBD products to licensed marijuana dispensaries. The license would not be required to sell to non-dispensary businesses and is being investigated as a matter of protection for dispensary shoppers. The OLCC will meet on January 15th to consider that and other matters. CBC News is reporting that a large part of the Canadian province of Ontario will be serviced by just 7 licensed dispensaries. An area of Ontario that's a little less than the size of West Virginia will have just those 7 licensed shops when they are slated to open up in April. Application for the 25 licenses in all to be given out in Ontario are being accepted starting today. With our final story of this fine Monday, we keep our sights pegged up in Canada, where Canadian airline WestJet is giving out advice for how its flyers should travel with now legal marijuana. In short, if your flight originates from Canada and stays within the country the whole time, you should pack your cannabis in your carry-on bag in a sealed container while factoring in an extra half hour to make your way through security. If your flight leaves Canada, well, you're on your own, as local laws may be different, as is certainly the case for any flight landing in the United States. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at MJ Today Daily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in, starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.